Hey guys, check out who's about to be spinning his way back into your collections. Yeah, that's right. Okay, Cyclone's here. Guys, Ken here from the Retro Escapades channel in Malaysia. Two more reveals in over the last few hours from the Mattel booth at SDCC 2023. Two long requested figures from the vintage line have returned, Cyclone and Extendar. That's right. Okay, these classic combatants from our childhood are back, and they look to include the updates on their retro special features as well. Special thanks to everyone who's been dropping some incredible coverage online, especially Eternian Royalty on Instagram and sites like the Toy Arc for sharing these awesome photos to the community. The most exciting revelation is, of course, the fact that Cyclone will still have the ability to spin, just like the action feature on his vintage figure, which entertained children for hours by just having him turn round and round and round, okay, and generate fearsome cyclonic winds. Now, looking at some of the slides shared online for the Mattel booth, it's explained here that for the feature to work on the new figure, you will now have to pop up his waist joint upwards to make him spin. But the waist articulates as normal when it is locked back into place. Okay, check that out. All right, now that's cool because the original couldn't do that. It was always just in a loose state to enable the action feature. Cyclone is definitely a deluxe figure with the amount of stuff that it comes with, including this giant weathering attachment on its back, which was originally introduced with the 2002 figure, and since then it has appeared on the Classics figure as well. Now with the Classics figure, you could use it in a number of different ways. I'm not sure if you can do that with the Origins version as well, but I like the fact that it's there. It enhances the figure a great deal, and it just sort of like bulks him up a whole lot more. Okay, you might say that it deluxes him. Yeah. Now he also gets these two sort of cyclonic blast effects. I guess you could call them that. I don't know. Okay, but I think this look pretty silly, but they're there. Okay, so we can probably use them for some interesting photography shots. Now in these images, there's no sign of his vintage yellow shield, but in the slide presentations of the figure that was shared, you do see it included. And anyway, it would be weird if they left it out. In the Pixel Dan walkthrough video, he did confirm that the chest emblem will now be a lenticular sticker as well, just like the original. So this thing, it will still have the ability to wow and mesmerize you. That's right, okay? Lenticular action, man. Now this version of Cyclone is like a mash between his vintage and 2002 incarnation. I think they've done a great job with him. I did see a lot of comments online which stated that he looks really puffy in the face. You know, to be fair, the original Cyclone was sort of like a riff on He-Man. I think they may have used the same head too. You know, maybe just retooled it a little bit. Okay, but this new version maybe makes him look a little bit more bloated. Okay, like he's full of hot air in the head. Yeah, like he's been inhaling a lot of hot wind. Okay, but I've seen some feedback that says that he now also looks a little bit Korean. Okay, now what do you guys think about that? Is this the Korean Cyclone? Now, as mentioned, another one of the big reveals is the return of Extendar, the heroic warrior with the ability to extend and stretch out parts of himself during combat. Yeah, peekaboo. So Extendar can basically just make himself bigger, taller, longer, and just tower over all of his enemies. The new Origins version of him does retain the classic action feature that allows you to just pull apart his body parts and just extend him out. The execution of which I think looks amazing. I really like the paint decor on this figure. The original Extender also did have a little bit of a plastic sheen to it, like a glossy paint shine. But this one here, it's almost metallic, especially on the silver and gold parts. Man, he's just standing out. Okay, you know what I mean? And also, you know, he comes with the classic shield accessory. It doesn't appear to come with anything else. I'm not really sure if this is going to be a deluxe figure, but it is definitely one of the most sought after figures of all time. And in fact, Extender has been the one Origins figure that has made the most cutback artwork teasers, you know, out of all of them. Okay, so he's finally here, right? Now, I've reviewed the vintage Cyclone figure on the channel previously, so do check out that video if you haven't already. I will be working on one for Extender, alright? So look out for that one and do lend me your support, guys. Yeah. Anyway, guys, I'm really looking forward to all of this new stuff, but in comes the news that apparently SyKlone and Extendar here will be MOTU Creations exclusives. In fact, all of that amazing stuff that we saw, okay, over the last couple of days being shared online, stuff like Rock On, the Fangor, Lady Slither figures, even that Night Stalker beast, okay, all of this stuff is apparently going to be MOTU Creations exclusives. What it is, what was conveyed based on the reports that have been shared online is that all of the figures that are part of the vintage line that continue the vintage figures that were released from Origins when they first debuted in 2020, all of that stuff, okay, anything that's vintage is apparently going to be MOTU Creations exclusives, and only the new stuff that we've seen that are supposed to be Filmation cartoon inspired, like all of this stuff right here, okay, this is going to be supposedly at retail. How is that going to work? Okay, I'm going to talk about this more in a future video, all right? But I suppose that in a very real sense, the line is basically dead at retail. Okay, this stuff that we've been talking about on the channel here for months now already, talking about the situation with the sales worldwide, and they've moved in this direction now. Okay, we've also speculated that it was going to be like an online only thing and possibly through MOTU Creations, and this is what apparently is happening. All right, so they want to rebrand the whole thing, start it all over from scratch, but in the direction of the cartoon figures. I mean, we'll talk about this also, but for right now, all I can say is just that this whole thing is just some bullshit right there. It's going to make it really hard for people to complete the figures that they want. It's going to make it super fucking hard for international buyers. But what are you going to do? Okay, a lot of people are just going to get out of the game. Okay, I'm pretty sure of that already. And I just want to hear your thoughts about it in the comment section. Let me know what you think of SyKlone and Extendar. And I'll hit you guys again real soon with more content. Take care out there.